My name is Jeffrey Jones, and I'm the engagement manager for Uplift Solutions. Uplift Solutions is a workforce development organization that helps individuals who have been impacted by the criminal justice system find skilled, certified workforce opportunities. We also provide resource services such as housing, mental health and wellness, and any other resources that they would need to maintain a pathway towards success. I'm originally raised in Newark, New Jersey, reside now in Philadelphia, always call Newark my home. I went to school in various different collegiate places. I went to school partly in New Jersey. Then I finished up my high school years in Philadelphia. I went to various different colleges through way of athletics, from Northeastern Christian Junior College to Ohio Valley University. Ended up at University of Penn. Um, that's me, Jeff Jones, and I'm excited for this opportunity to talk with you today.
Awesome. What is the future direction of the nonprofit?
The future direction of Uplift Solutions in particular is to continually position ourselves to be the leader in the space of workforce development, advocating for those who've been impacted by the criminal justice system. We understand that most nonprofits have missions that are altruistic and serving the constituents that they take in. And we view this as the primary reason for nonprofits, the direction in which they go is always going to be in a growth mindset, to continue to help those who are maybe sometimes don't get the resources or notoriety that they deserve. So I believe that the future direction of a nonprofit should be to always position themselves to be the best in industry, to continue to serve the constituents and clients that they have, to provide the resources and services that best suits their particular needs.
What kind of detours did you have starting the nonprofit?
Detours that we've had is maybe even similar to a lot of nonprofits, which is funding. Funding is often one of the things that sustains the life force of a nonprofit. And then once that funding is in place, it can grow and develop and expand to various different entities. One of the detours that, another one of the detours, I should say, is awareness, exposure. Some nonprofits are on the grassroots level and they begin to do great work even with funding, but without lack of exposure, they then become either unknown and or won't be able to make the true impact that they have. And the third level of detour that will come up in a nonprofit is capacity building. Um, if you are even getting the funding but don't have the ability to capacity build, then you may outgrow the funding that you even receive. So those are three detours that often come up in the nonprofit world: lack of funding, then also lack of exposure, and then the ability to have capacity building skill sets within your organization.
So when was the nonprofit first imagined?
Uh, it was imagined back in 2009. This was a vision based on, again, the clients that we service, those impacted by the justice system. And it was in and around that time that we began to see that there was a real need for workforce for individuals who have come home, done their time, and want to give back into society. We realized that that was a need, and that's when that first imagined need started. So we started to say, what can we do to help those individuals that are in that space? I particularly had my brother, my oldest brother, who was in that same situation where he came home, wasn't able to find work, and it became a struggle for him to regain his pathway to success. So that's when it was first imagined back in 2009, realizing that there was a demographic of men and women coming home from incarceration that just weren't able to get back into the workforce.
Did you make a formal nonprofit plan when you imagined it?
There was a plan in place, yes. There was a formal plan put in place, and we structured it out to make sure that we would have keep indicating points of progress that we would make. We structured out so we can, of course, go to funders and secure the fundings that we need, and also capacity build. So there was a formal plan in place that we had, and it did help us to become successful to the point that we're at now. We're very proud of that. And along that pathway of having that plan, we were able to be flexible with that and not become frustrated with any challenges that came up that I previously mentioned because we knew we had a plan to be able to address those.
But did you help? Did you get help, outside help, with the plan? Or
Yes, when we prepared the plan, we got help from key influential stakeholders within the city. We got help from legislators. We got help from community partners. So we were always networking and building on our social capital so that we can continue to be successful. So the help that we received, even mentorship from other organizations and individuals that were able to lend their time and talent to support with our ideas, and we had idea partners. So all that helped to let us build the organization to where it's at now. So we did get outside help in various different capacities.
I know you imagined it in, you said 2009, correct?
Yes. Yes.
And when did you first start working on your nonprofit? Make it formally start the nonprofit.
When did we first start working on it?
Yes. When you really start, because you imagined it first,
Hmm.
so you made the plan. So when did you start to act on it,
Yeah,
on the plan?
we started to act on it approximately say 2010. Yeah, around 2010, 2011. I guess you would really say 2011 because that was around the time we really started doing more than just, we initially started with the idea of doing the mentorship so that we can begin to get some exposure into the work that we were doing. And then we began talking with other community businesses and key stakeholders and individuals who could fund our organization. And that's been around 2011 is when we really started being more structured and formal in that place. So that was kind of the process in terms of timeline. And in 2000, by the time 2017 came around, we really had a great depth of partnerships that could help not only with the funding, not only with the exposure, but then also with some of the employment opportunities that we had. So that was kind of the timeline of how we went about putting our business, nonprofit business, into place as it is now.
But how did you find the others that were willing to commit to your nonprofit? How did you find them?
Well, we reached out and found others who were committed to the work that we were doing because it was a situation where back from 2009 to approximately say 2014 or so, there was a lot of social justice issues that were rising up in our society as a whole across the nation. And because of that, it lended a voice and a space to being able to find a niche that was out there. And in that space of social upheaval and social justice advocacy, we found that niche of workforce development. And when we began putting ourselves out there and allowing others to see the work that we were doing, we were able to network and find other people who were just as committed to social justice reform, employment, economic improvement for those impacted by the justice system, and people who had transformative ideas for solutions. So, in our networking and in our grassroots exposure opportunities, we began to find others who were committed to the work and able to support us along the way.
Awesome. Now, who greatly impacted your life?
There were several individuals that greatly impacted my life. One being my brother Tracy, whom I previously mentioned, whose life was impacted by the justice system and changed in a way that I believe altered his level of success that he was on the pace of getting. And by seeing him go through that change, it made me empathetic and sympathetic and understanding of what happens to individuals who experience that justice system and who are trying to regain their pathway to success. And seeing that directly, I was impassioned with being able to advocate, being able to support, and being able to be more mindful of how I could lend my voice in that space. The other individual was the lawyer Brian Stevenson. I had the chance to go to his museum in Mobile, Alabama. Uh, yeah, I believe it was in Mobile, Alabama, but it's in Alabama. I had a chance to go to his museum and sit with him and speak with him and learn about how justice reform can really take place in a way of providing voices to those impacted by the justice system and learn more about advocacy in the space for those who have been disenfranchised. So those were two in the space of this work that shaped my life apart from my faith and my family, but those would be two who I could say who really impacted my life in shaping this work.
Awesome. Now, do you feel it's ever too late to become an impact to your family, your community, and this world?
Well, there's never too late to do good. There's never too late to become who you want to be. There's never too late for you to make a difference that we can all make. So I never believe it's never too late. I often think that sometimes when we begin to think about the work that we want to do, we may think that we may not have the time, but if you have the passion, then you have the energy, then I believe you'll find the time. So I never believe it's too late. There's scores of individuals from uh, celebrities to athletes to entertainers who started their career late in life. Samuel Jackson, Morgan Freeman, you know, can go on naming individuals who started their careers late and still achieve great success. And I believe it's just never too late. And I believe if we act now, that's the moment we're called to do.
Awesome. So what do you need right now to get, be a greater impact uplift?
Yeah, in order to do a greater impact with the work that we do at Uplift is to just gain more network opportunity, gain more exposure, continue to elevate the brand by having opportunities to share via media, social media, mainstream media, just get exposure in areas where we're normally not heard of. And I think that will allow for us to make a greater impact and then partnering with other individuals and organizations who are doing like and or similar work so that we can begin to partner together because none of us are better than all of us. And so what we would need wouldn't be the financial support, though that would be great. Uh, wouldn't need a celebrity endorsement, though that would be great. We just need to continue to stay the course and partner with the individuals and organizations that are willing to understand the need for this work to make a difference so that those who've been impacted by the justice system can continue on their trajectory of success even because they have actually paid their time and now they need to just be in the pathway to reclaim their life as well.
Awesome. Can you tell, you said, you mentioned last time we talked about the play. Can you tell a
Mhm.
little about the play?
Yes. So one of the things that I'm working on in my personal endeavors outside of my work with Uplift is a one man stage play that I wrote, which was which is based on my experience, my 3 years of being homeless. The name of the play is My Name is Jeffrey, and it talks about the lack of empathy that we often have, and I say we as a generalized statement that we often have towards individuals who are housing insecure, going through the transition of homelessness, and maybe even some people who may be addicted. And in that one man play, it talks about how there is no humanity given to those individuals. They're looked at differently, they're treated differently. And it's done in such a way where individuals who do it are not feeling as though they're being cruel or nefarious in that space. But on the other end, that's how it feels. It feels that you don't have your humanity. They'll give you clothes, they'll give you money, they'll even give you food, but they won't give you your humanity. And in that one man play, I talk about that from the experience of being homeless and sharing with the audience as they're listening the trajectory, the feelings, and the pain that goes through that, but also the hope that someone who's homeless and going through housing insecurity has at the same time. Because the person you see is not always the person that they are, and they can become something even better with a little bit more empathetic understanding of how you can help them out.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. This is going to be, I mean, I'm greatly impacted by your story, so I know
Um,
others will be also.
you're
So,
welcome.
I said thank you so much again, and yeah, hopefully we will be doing some partnerships ourselves with our nonprofit. Um, so thank you again, Mr. Jones.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for having me part of it. I look forward to continually working with you. And you got my number and email. So please reach out if I can be of any additional support.